You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club, and we got a special guest in the building.
And I really can't believe he's here, by the way.
Why'd you say that?
Because I was watching Jesus Christ Superstar last night, and I was like, there's no way John is getting up to do radio in the morning.
In the snow, in everything, in the weather, in everything.
Good morning,
Man,
John Legend.
I woke up. I didn't even have my alarm set because I forgot I had this interview. And I woke up because I was still feeling kind of buzzed from last night. And I looked at my schedule. I was like, oh, I have an interview. And I made it.
He was like, who scheduled this?
I'm proud of myself. I'm really proud of myself for being here right now.
Did they not know I was going to be on TV live for 2 hours the night before?
Man, I had a good time last night, though.
Let's talk about that. Jesus Christ Superstar Live.
Yeah, man.
What made you do that?
Man, when they offered me the role, I was like, I should take it, man. It's Jesus. It's Jesus Christ. It's Jesus Christ Superstar. It's an iconic show. And the role couldn't be more iconic. So let's take it. Let's do it. It's a challenge. And I'm going to try to do it.
Nervous at all? 2 hours live?
I wasn't nervous. I felt good. We had done a dress rehearsal the night before, and it really went well. So I just felt like we were going to do a good job, and I feel good about what we did.
Why weren't you dressed like Jesus, though? Like no. Like
what is Jesus dressed like?
That's true, too. I thought about that. I was trying to explain it to my daughter last night. I was like, Jesus was black, but like the long hair,
We've seen so many versions of him that were, based on what people just decided he looked like. We don't know what he looked like exactly. We know he's probably browner than a lot of the versions we've seen. We don't know what his hair was long or if it was shorter. We decided we were just going to make him look modern and make the whole show look modern.
Was there any pushback on Jesus being depicted as a black man?
People asked me about it, but I didn't get much, I didn't get much crap on Twitter from anybody or anything like that. I'm sure somebody was at home upset.
Did you have a problem playing that role? Like, was that something like, do I want to test that?
No, I felt like it would be a challenge to play it. I knew it was going to be a lot of pressure because people have a lot of expectations for it. But I felt good about it. I felt like I could do it, and I was ready to do it.
Did you learn anything new about Jesus throughout this process?
Well, I feel like this wasn't the biblical Jesus. I grew up, in a preaching family, so I've grown up knowing about Jesus my entire life, and I had so many ministers in my family and read about him plenty. But this was a character as it was written by Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice, so it wasn't meant to be exactly strictly biblical. It was meant to be an imagination of what his last days might have been like, and what his interactions with his friends might have been like, what his interactions with his followers might have been like, and what kind of maybe like resentment he might have had knowing that he had to make that sacrifice.
How do you gauge if you did a good job or not? Do you get up and read all the reviews? Do you go to social
media?
I
did. I looked at both. And the reviews have been really good. And social media, it can't be 100% good, but it was very good.
Did you look for a Donald Trump review? Did you see if he was last night?
I saw Bill O'Reilly saw it. he was upset that everybody looked like they was from a tattoo parlor, he said.
He said that for real?
Yeah.
There was a lot of tattoos. I thought it was like some nice tattoos before in that era. How much preparation goes into executing?
Oh, we rehearsed for a long time. It was a lot of really me and Sarah Bareilles and Alice Cooper. We're all known for pop music more, but everybody else was all like Broadway professionals, and everybody was just so good and professional, and they made us feel like we were supported and protected. And we've been rehearsing for the past few weeks. I actually started rehearsing in February. Then I went on tour in Asia for a few weeks and came back and finished rehearsing. And we were ready by Sunday night. It felt good.
Yeah, the LA Times said that it shouldn't have worked, but it did because of the fact that you know how to command a venue full of fans.
Yeah, we wanted to feel like a concert. So it felt like, that audience being there, it felt like it was a real concert mixed with a theater experience.
They said when you blinked, the crowd went crazy. They said they were really ready for this one.
Now,
yeah, they were
hyped.
No, it was cool. I'm used to it. I mean, that's the way I like to perform. If it was in a studio and it was empty, I would have felt more nervous probably because it wouldn't have that energy.
Couldn't feed off of them.
Yeah, I enjoy feeding off the energy.
Now you're back into the music industry, huh? You got a new record coming out this week.
Yeah, I got a new record. It's called A Good Night.
Now let's talk about that. You cursing the first line. I said John Legend's cursing. He has a young child.
Who told you John Legend was really Jesus?
People haven't listened to my music if they don't think I curse in my song. I'm a very smooth cursor though. I'm like, it just kind of smooths by.
It was a smooth curse.
Now on the hook it says or somewhere in the song it says you think you just met your wife. So
so the song, the hook, basically the idea is you go out and you just think you're going out for a regular night and you meet somebody that you really hit it off with, and you might be drunk, you might, be feeling a certain way just in the moment, but maybe you just met your wife.
Was that the true story? Was that the first time you met?
No, we met at work, actually. We were shooting a video together back in, it was like almost over 10 years ago now, but yeah, we didn't meet at the club. But I've had plenty of friends that met their wives like out, just thinking they were having a good time, and that moment hit, and they were like, "Oh, this might be the one."
Is it hard to write from that perspective, though, being that you're a married man and you got kids now?
It wasn't, actually, because I've really talked about this subject before with a lot of my friends, and it felt like a very familiar thing to talk about, and it felt natural to talk about, even though it wasn't exactly autobiographical.
Does it make you want to call up one of the young boys like, "Hey, I got a record for you, man. You better
take this record. I'm out there to leave."
Honestly, I loved the record when I wrote it, and I was like, man, this might be a smash, so I wasn't going to give it away.
When your wife hears it, does she say, "What do you mean you think you found your wife?"
Nah, she loves it. She loves it, loves the video. She's really happy with it.
Now, you're one award away from an EGOT.
Yeah.
But you're missing a Tony, right?
No, Emmy.
You're missing the Emmy. You got the Tony, you got the Oscar, you got the Grammy.
Yeah, we just got a Tony for Jitney last year. We did a revival of Jitney and won Best Revival.
Is that something you're aiming for?
Aiming for, I wouldn't say aiming for, but I wouldn't be mad if I got it. Yeah. I mean, it would be nice. I mean, we just did something on television on Sunday, so it's eligible.
Is it hard to create from that perspective, though? Like when you know, I can win an Emmy.
No, because if you start thinking like that, then I think that's when you go astray creatively. If you start thinking, well, how can I win an award for this? I think if you go into it thinking, I need to make this amazing, then the awards will come. And that's the way I approach everything creatively, music, film, everything.
So you didn't expect the Grammy, the Oscar, or the Tony either then?
Well, I think Grammys are more to be expected because this is the thing I do. That's my day job. That's what I work on all the time. And if we do a good job in music, we know Grammys will come. But everything else, it's all gravy.
And then Common has the ego, right?
Yeah, he has everything but a Tony, and I have everything but an Emmy.
Y'all have those conversations? Like
we're both proud of each other. We we got the Oscar together, and we got a Grammy together as well. And we're rooting for each other.
Now I see the whole gang has been in Wyoming with Kanye a little bit recording. Have you?
Yeah, I haven't been out there yet. I'm gonna get out there as soon as I can. I've been so focused on this show, I haven't had a chance to. Then I was in Asia, but I'm gonna try to get out there too.
Are y'all sworn to secrecy? You got to sign NDAs about even talking?
Well, I haven't even been out there yet, so I don't know if there are NDAs, but apparently people are breaking NDAs nowadays.
Yeah. Do you know who did Beyonce?
Yes.
Did you know when it happened? Or?
No, we weren't there, but we know people that were there. We know what happened.
Wow.
Was it a love bite or was it a chunk bite? Like a Mike
Chrissy
Tyson
knew
bite
before I knew. She told me, and we're sworn to secrecy.
So did Chrissy text you like, "You won't believe what happened"?
She told me in person. She didn't want any electronic record.
Wow. Now you played Frederick Douglass on Underground, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
Now you're playing Jesus.
Yes.
I feel like they both had a similar struggle for liberation of a people.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about Jesus in terms of liberation, and there's a lot of theology around Jesus as a liberator, and of course Frederick was as well.
What else did they have in common to you?
Well, they were persecuted at the time, and I think anybody who fights for disrupting the status quo. I mean, people glorify Martin Luther King now, but he was persecuted, and he wasn't even popular when he was alive. He was his approval ratings were underwater like Donald Trump right now. So it was like, people when you're fighting for liberation, when you're disrupting the status quo, when you're upsetting the people in power, a lot of times you're not going to be popular at the time. And we've seen that with a lot of great leaders.
Now, you've been very honest about Donald Trump. And,
yeah.
And, we joke a lot that you're going to get flagged at the airport. Have you seen anything negative?
I haven't. I haven't gotten audited yet, knock on wood. But I pay my taxes on time. But, who knows what's going to happen. But we hopefully won't have him for president for too long. But who knows, man.
What's the best way to disrupt this system, you think?
Well, I think Part of it's through protests. We've seen it with Black Lives Matter. We've seen it with the March for Our Lives. We've seen it with the Women's March. A lot of folks out there are protesting, but they're also deciding that it's not enough to protest. We got to vote. We got to stay engaged with our politicians and make sure they do the right things for us. And I think that's the best thing we can do.
And I read something that you're backing startups for former inmates?
Yeah, so a lot of the work we do with Free America that's my organization that's all about ending mass incarceration. And one of the things we do is work with people who get out of prison and need to be productive and need to be part of society again. And a lot of times we forget about them. And a lot of times they can't get a job, they can't reintegrate into their community, and they end up getting in trouble again. So we wanted to create a situation where we invest in them and give them opportunity to succeed and be entrepreneurs, so that they can reintegrate back into society, make the world better, and not get in trouble again, and just be productive again.
What made you invest in that? Was it family members? Was it
family,
friends?
man? I've had family members that have gone through that, and neighbors and well, you know, I do send my friends and family money. Some of them have been incarcerated, and it's hard, man. It's hard seeing people that have already paid their debt to society have to pay that forever,
right?
And not be able to just live, and from voting to working to being able to get housing. There's so many obstacles we put in people's way after they get out of prison, and some people are like, well, they deserve it, they committed a crime, but honestly, after they pay their debt, like, why do they have to keep paying it?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it makes no sense to me that we send people to correctional facilities but don't try to correct them.
Yeah, like, do we want them to get better? Do we want them to come out and be great? Or do we want them to be burdened by this the rest of their lives?
Now with Jesus Christ Superstar, what do you do when you got to use the bathroom?
Oh, I had breaks. We had commercials.
I saw that, but we got enough time to go handle your business?
We had time. I mean, number one was definitely on the docket. Number two might have been a struggle, but
you couldn't do number two there.
But no, I had plenty of time. We had good commercial breaks, and there's scenes where I wasn't even in, so you know, I was good.
What does John Legend love the most at this moment, professionally?
Professionally, I just love when it all comes together. Like last night, that was a high for me. It was when we had this team of hundreds of people, production people, choreographers, dancers, singers, actors, and when it all comes together, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
A lot of the lead cast was very diverse too. Was that something that you wanted to make sure?
We all wanted it. NBC wanted it. All the producers wanted it. Obviously, they cast me as Jesus, but we had Asian Americans, Hispanic, Black, white. Everybody was in the cast. And it was really race blind as far as the casting, and they wanted it to look like America, look like the Broadway community. And I think it was a brilliant idea. It looked great. It sounded great. Everybody did a great job.
How do we keep diversity from being a trend and actually being normal?
Well, I feel like we are diverse. I feel like the most natural thing is for us to be diverse, for us to be homogenous and monochromatic is actually what's unnatural. And so for us to look like America, look like the world, that's the most natural thing for us to do. And I think people are realizing that. And they're also realizing that Black people, Hispanic people, we spend money. We like to watch entertainment that reflects our lives. Asian Americans, you know, we all spend money, and we want to see entertainment that reflects who we are too. And we've seen plenty of entertainment that does it, and we have a hunger for that. And if you make content that's great, that reflects who we are, then we're gonna spend money on it. And I mean, Black Panther is all you need to say. Like people were ready for that. They were hungry for that. And once we gave it to them, you know, billions of dollars.
Now your fans are so broad. What is this album like to you? Is it Family Man John Legend? Is it Fight the Power?
Well,
John
it's
Legend?
not even an album yet. We're still working on it. Right now it's a song, you know, it's a single. And we wanted to give people something because I've been working on a lot of music and I've been on tour. And I felt like after this Jesus Christ Superstar, I wanted to put out something right after.
You on fire.
Yeah, I just felt good. I just wanted to give people something, and this will hold them over until we finish the album.
And you got a production company too, so you do film and television.
Yeah.
How is it? Is it hard not to come off as biased? Meaning that, like, if you say, I want all Black people on this cast, I want all women in this cast, like,
do you do that?
Well, no, but we want it to be multicultural. We want it to reflect what America looks like, and we do lean towards stories that I'm familiar with or that I connect with. So we probably lean toward more stories that represent Black history and Black life. But, you know, there's plenty of other producers out there, so I'm just one point of view. And if all of us get a chance that have something to offer, then the entertainment that's available to everybody will be diverse.
What do you have coming down the pipeline?
Well, we've got a movie we just did called Monster that went to Sundance that's really amazing. So that's going to come out later this year. We've got some other movies that'll be a Tribeca. One's called OG, and one's called United States of America. And that's a documentary. So we got a lot of good things coming.
And this is all you got on your schedule today?
Today, this is it.
Good.
I'm about to fly back to LA, and I'm gonna take the week off. I had a really busy last 6 weeks, and I'm gonna relax this week.
Now, how's marriage life? You've been married a
I
couple
love
of
it,
years
man.
now.
It's good. I love being a dad. I love being a husband, and we got another baby on the way, and it's exciting, man.
Now, when we talk about, me and Charlamagne talk about it all the time, that when your wife is pregnant, it's probably the best time sexually because your wife is more attractive. Do you feel the same way with yours?
I love when my wife is pregnant.
I
feel
love
like
it too.
it's like
Sex is the
it's like
most amazing.
femininity on 1,000 trillion. It's beautiful to me.
Nah, it's the most amazing thing ever.
Let John go, man. John was up all last night playing Jesus. All right.
All right, well,
He didn't even want to resurrect himself this morning.
Introduce the record, though.
Here it is, y'all. It's a brand new record. It's called A Good Night. It's me featuring Blood Pop. Check it out.
Who's Blood Pop?
Producer.
Producer.
Dope.
All right, it's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.